Delarite, my MVVs, welcome. I warned you. I told you the wind of destruction was coming for you, and you sent my elder to tell me that the wind of destruction will go to, the jewel and not you. That it was back to sender to all of us, back to sender to me. Reverend Esther Ajayi allegedly slammed Igbi as Igbi ran to her for help. Now, why has Igbi gone to Reverend Esther Ajayi for help? Igbi has gone to Reverend Esther Ajayi for help for prayers and also to pray, to beg, Kabiyesi to intensify effort to bring, the jewel back into the palace. Have you seen the way God can work in mysterious ways? They say Reverend Esther Ajayi said, why should the jewel come back to the palace? And why would you even say that you will carry your sick child to the royal mansion? Why would you carry your sick child to the royal mansion? And why would you say if anything happens to your child, it will be the fault of, the jewel? The blood will be on the head of the jewel. Why would you say something like that? What has the jewel done? The blood will be on your own head and not that of the jewel. The jewel has not done anything. Your son is sick. It's not the problem of the jewel. It's not because of what the jewel did. It is because of what you did, the places you have been going, the hands, the things they have warned you over and over again. I know how many times I have warned you to stay away from the life of the jewel, to stay away from anything that will affect you or affect the jewel. I know how many times I have warned, I have spoken, I have told you so many times. Now you're talking about, taking, your sick son to the royal mansion. Why wouldn't you take your sick son to the palace? Your heritage. Yes, why wouldn't you take your sick son to the palace? Have you forgotten that the palace is your personal heritage? You should be talking about taking your sick son there and not to the royal mansion. Why would you be talking about taking your sick son to the royal mansion? As what? And for what? They say, Igbi cried and cried and cried and cried, begging, Reverend Esther Ajayi to think of what she can do. However, she can try and, convince the jewel to return. Beg the great lion to do something, that this is her predicament. That's what Reverend Esther said in February, when Igbi went to go and meet her. She looked at all the things, the ungodly things that was done to the jewel. And she looked at Igbi and she told Igbi, look, everything that you have done, remember that the jewel's case finished around, according to Reverend, she said, that was when the case finished, the jewel's case, finished. I think that was around March or so. When that case finished, it was when Igbi came to meet her. She looked at all the ungodly things that has been done to the jewel, and she told Igbi, the wind of destruction is coming. You cannot continue like this. Should you continue like this, you will get yourself to blame. Do not do this. This has got to end. Igbi said the wind of destruction will go to, the jewel. They say, Reverend says she saw everything. She knew something was going to happen, but she didn't know when. But if there's one thing that she knows that Whether the jewel goes to marry in Timbuktu or the jewel goes to marry anywhere in the world, that the jewel will come back, that the jewel will end up with her husband back. That is one thing she said. Now, she even said it to Igbi that day, and Igbi said the jewel is not coming back to Kabiyesi. That she would never, ever come back to Kabiyesi, surely as she is alive. That the jewel does not belong in that royal family. She should go and look for another royal family. And Reverend says she shook her head and she told Igbi to be very careful. You cannot fight destiny. Who are you to think that you can fight the destiny of the jewel? Reverend said that was what she asked Igbi. Now, when Igbi carried herself back to Reverend said, can you still remember the questions that I asked you? Can you remember when I told you to leave the jewel alone? That things will happen that you will never imagine. They say, Reverend say, yes, she feels bad that this is happening to an innocent child. The child shouldn't be the one suffering for the mother's mistakes. But what is happening now is a lesson to everyone. For them to know that, the jewel is not alone. The jewel is a child of destiny. You cannot go and, drag her out, disgrace her, do the things that you people did to her, like what you did to her in December, and think that you will go scot-free. That you see Ebony. Ebony has not seen any trouble yet. That Ebony has not seen any trouble at all. That for everything that they did to the jewel, they will pay one after the other. They say Igbi was just crying the entire time. Crying, begging that Reverend should do something. Reverend should pray for her son. That she is ready to go, she's ready to leave. That she doesn't even want anymore. That she has seen too much already in her life. That she is tired. That she is devastated. That it took her so much to get that child, her son. That she cannot allow anything to happen to her son. That whatever they want to take, they should take and leave her son alone. And they say Reverend was saying that nobody needs to take anything and leave your son alone. That you are the one who has put that poor boy in this condition. You are the one who, you want to go and beg the jewel. Find a way, go beg, say whatever you want to say. But I am not going to force the jewel and her husband to do what they don't want to do, or bring her to the palace by force. Going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.